Hey everybody, Chrissy Tobis here for Kindred Stamps, and today I'm going to show you how to use distress inks to create your own custom backgrounds. Now, if you're familiar with any of the cards that I make, I really kind of prefer to make my own backgrounds instead of using patterned paper when I can. So for this first card, I'm making 4 cards. We're going to go through them pretty quick, so I did speed up the video. To this first card, I used a stencil. So this is the spaceship paneling stencil from Kindred Stamps, and all I did was I secured it down with some repositionable tape. This is purple tape, and then I just used some distress inks along with a sponge dauber to go ahead and start blending it. So distress inks work really well with water. Now you can leave them without water and they work well too. They blend really well together, and there's tons and tons of colors out there. But what's really cool is when you flick water on them or spray water on them, it kind of reacts with the water and it'll leave like the speckles. So here I added some other distress inks and I used a glass surface, so you can use an acrylic surface too, sprayed them with water first and then dropped the paper down onto it. Now I'm using watercolor paper for all of these cards, just so you know. That seems to work better with the distress ink because it can hold the paper more. If you use regular paper instead of like regular cardstock instead of watercolor, it might start kind of like bending and buckling and getting kind of icky and gross. So I would recommend using watercolor cardstock or paper whenever you're using your distress inks and adding water. So for this next one, I just painted with a water brush and then flicked some color on there. I just added some water to the ink and flicked color on. And for the last one, I'm kind of doing the same thing that I did before, but I've got the inks a little bit closer together and I'm allowing them to mix. So instead of having the ink separate and having, 3 different colors on there, I'm kind of creating my own colors because I let the yellow and the pink go together to kind of make an orangey and kind of like a red color. So you can mix the inks as well. And if you don't have a glass mat, don't worry. As I kind of mentioned earlier briefly, you can use any type of slick surface. So if you have a laminated sheet or acrylic sheet, anything like that, that will work too. So now I decided, because I kind of almost did like a mass assembly of these cards. So I stamped a bunch of things at once and colored them off camera. And now I'm just going to fussy cut all of them out. I'm using the Fresh Squeeze stamp set. This set is so cute. So I'm going to kind of keep a similar theme to each card because they're all custom backgrounds and they all are using the same stamp set, but they're all going to look completely different, which is also what's great about using distress inks and making your own backgrounds because, in my opinion, I save a lot of money because I honestly hardly own any patterned paper. And I don't have all of the distressing colors, and they also come in smaller cubes too. So you can kind of get some more bang for your buck. You can get more colors in the smaller versions. So I added glossy accents to that little lemon, and on this one, I am using a sparkle marker. So I just want to show you a couple different ways that you could also use the stamp set and just make it look completely different, but using the same stamps over and over again. So same thing, I did glossy for one and sparkle for the other, and I've assembled all the cards. This one I'm actually going to use a sparkle marker and glossy accents together, kind of combining everything. And you can see I use very few supplies for all 4 of these cards. So here's a couple shots of each card so you can see the backgrounds again. So I definitely suggest you giving distress inks a try if you haven't tried them before. Just kind of play around with them, and there's really no wrong way to use them. Like this one, all the inks kind of ended up mixing together and stuff, and I really do like the way that they looked. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and I will see you out there in Blogland. Have a great day.